My God, I hate drugs.
President Duterte offers to pay for communist rebels' trip home in order to resume peace talks with the government. Speaking at a peace and order summit in Legazpi, Albay, the president urged the communist group to stop extorting money from politicians, and he will guarantee an all-expense-paid trip for the peace talks. He also assured that members of the National Democratic Front Peace Panel will not be arrested. In the past, both sides accused each other of violating ceasefires. This prompted President Duterte to terminate the peace talks aimed at ending the communists' 5-decade insurgency, one of the longest running in Asia. The NDFP is the umbrella group that represents communist rebels in peace talks with the government. Congress finally approved the 3.7 trillion peso national budget after months of delay. 5 senators voted against it, with one of them giving a long speech on why it should not be passed. Our Rex Remitio has details.
Negative. All right, 15 affirmative votes, 5 negative votes, no abstention. The Bicameral Conference Committee report on House Bill 8169 is approved. Adopted.
Lawmakers are able to avert another budget delay as both houses of Congress finally decided to approve the 2019 budget. Another delay would force the government to operate based on previous year's budget, or what is called a reenacted budget. This also means a delay on state projects, key social services, and job creation, which would eventually badly affect the economy. The new version of the 2019 budget did not hurdle the Senate without any opposition, especially by Senator Ping Lacson.
Mr. President, with your indulgence, let me detail to you what I view as a pork-ridden, cholesterol-rich 2019 budget, particularly those lodged in the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways.
The senator explains that in the new budget, almost every House lawmaker will get 160 million pesos regardless of the need of his or her district. Lacson points out some districts like that of House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in Pampanga were allotted many projects.
Ilan po ba ang mga gulayan at palayan sa 2nd Legislative District ng Pampanga, at ilan naman kaya ang pamilihang bayan sa naturang distrito para magtamasa ng katakot-takot na farm-to-market road projects?
5 senators voted against the new budget: Lacson, Frank Drilon, Risa Ontiveros, Kiko Pangilinan, and Bam Aquino. President Duterte's allies, who comprise the majority in the Senate, prevailed. Legarda says these infrastructure projects are not born out of pork barrel, as long as those are requested by line agencies.
I just clarified it with Senator Lacson. Now, Mr. President, infrastructure in itself is not pork. In fact, how can build, ensue without infrastructure?
The 17th Congress adjourns after both houses sessions Friday in preparation for the 2019 midterm elections.
Meanwhile, in reaction to Lacson's claims in his privileged speech last night, House Appropriations Committee Chair Rolando Andaya says it's true there were pork barrel insertions in the 2019 budget. House Minority Leader Danilo Suarez supported Andaya, saying the difference between senators and congressmen is how they use funds to deliver their constituents' needs.
That's true. That's why we were forced to go into this very deep analysis of the budget, in which we uncovered wide disparities between amongst the different districts. You had 8 billion on one hand, as small as 400 million in the district on the other hand. It was a hard job.
Sa Senate, if you are the best debater in the session hall ng Senate, you'll get elected. Sa amin, sa Congress, if you don't deliver to what our constituents ask, we will not be elected or re-elected.
Andaya and Suarez say they will try to continue House investigations on the 75 billion peso budget insertions, which Andaya claims was done by the Budget Department. But Budget Secretary Ben Diokno flatly denies the allegation, calling it baseless.
In the whole of Cathedral bombing, and the daughter was left to the care of ESG personality also in particular.
Sir, while your sources confirm na Indonesian couple nga yung suicide bombers, you don't have any information yet as to their identities?
Well, we don't have the identity. Normally, kasi these foreign terrorists, they came to the country and they use aliases. Really, that's their practice. They will adopt pseudonyms taken from probably some names from the Quran or from the religious book and assume the name. And that's the practice. Whether sometimes if they go to another province in Mindanao, they will change the alias for security purposes.
But do you
But,
have
we are very
information?
certain. Yeah, we are certain because we have sources inside the group of Sawadjaan, and this couple spoke Malay Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesia, and they know very well the couple who came from Indonesia. And I think bakit pa natin naman itatago kung yun yung pagkakilala sa kanila ng mga kasama nila sa Abu Sayyaf at sa IS sa organization nila.
Secretary Año, do you have information as to when these Indonesians arrived in the country? And what does the Indonesian authorities say about this? Have you heard from the Indonesian government?
Well, the Indonesian government, of course, would like to be specific, and they would like to get some proof that they are really Indonesian citizens. We are working with them. Actually, we'll be asking the assistance for confirmation or identification during DNA testing. But we're working it out, and alam mo kasi talagang kahit naman sa Syria, kahit sa Iraq ay may mga Indonesian na terrorist on. So, normal lang dito sa atin, there are reports that there are Yemeni Malaysians. Even after the Marawi crisis, about 10 foreign terrorists were able to slip out of Marawi city during the siege.
Secretary Año, how many more foreign terrorists do you think are here or in the Sulu archipelago where they are aiding local terrorists? Ilan pa po ba ang minomonitor?
During the Marawi crisis, about 40 itong foreign terrorists na reported na nandito. And there are others who attempted to enter the country, but the cooperation among the three countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines, prevented these foreign terrorists. And sa Marawi crisis, we killed several of those foreign terrorists. Kasama na yung Malaysian na terrorist na religious advisor ng grupo niya, Pilon. So we're talking of about 10 plus still foreign terrorists who are possible suicide bombers, and this is now the effort or the focus of our effort to locate and get these foreign terrorists.
Secretary Año, let's go to the latest report of the U.S. Defense Department regarding Hatib Hajan Sawadjaan, that according to them is now the acting emir of ISIS Philippines. Siya raw ang pumalit kay Isnilon Hapilon na napatay sa Marawi City. Ano naman po ang information ng DILG at PNP tungkol kay Sawadjaan?
I agree with the assessment of the U.S. intelligence, because we have already information on the third quarter of 2018. Sawadjaan is already recognized as the emir here in the country because he has the base, he has the Abu Sayyaf fighters under his command, and they have a good sanctuary, particularly Sulu. Na-factionalize kasi sila after the Marawi crisis. Iba-ibang area kasi ang nag-agree sa IS. Ito yung nasa Mindanao sa grupo ni Duterte. at dito naman sa Lanao sa grupo ni Abudar at kay 4G Indama dito sa Basilan. Pang-apat itong kay Hatid Hajan Sawadjaan. But among all this group, it's Sawadjaan and his followers are really adhering and very active in supporting the call of ISIS.
Secretary Año, reports also claim that Sawadjaan is harboring a foreign would-be suicide bomber in his jungle base in Sulu. Do we know the nationality and ano-ano pa po ba ang mga foreign nationalities na involved sa grupo ni Sawadjaan?
He is described as an Arab because he spoke Arabic and he is married to a Filipina Tausug, no? A Muslim Tausug. So these were in the lookout of this Arab national. But when you say Arab, it could be Moroccan, it could be Yemeni, it could be Kuwaiti. So we're not yet certain kung anong particular nationality nitong Arab national na ito. But according to our sources, he's also a suicide bomber.
Finally, Secretary, I'd like to get your thoughts on this. Palagay niyo po, may pagkukulang po ba in terms of intelligence gathering?
I don't think there is a lapse on intelligence because we have plenty of intelligence reports and information. It's really on how you act on those intelligence and how you apply the appropriate measure. I think the AP and the PNP, they did their best. They provided round-the-clock protection and security provision in the whole of Cathedral. But, you know, sometimes our soldiers are also human. Napapagod din sila. Yun yung pagkakataon na sinamantala nitong terrorist. But we are going to make sure that these lapses will not be committed in the future. We will upgrade, we will require also the installation of CCTV, and the AP and the PNP will continue working closely to make sure that these threats will not reach our communities.
Secretary Año, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you to Mai and more power.
Doctors are warning against the use of herbal medicines to combat measles as the number of deaths from the outbreak rises to more than 70 nationwide. At the San Lazaro Hospital in Manila alone, there are 59 fatalities. Our Caroline Bongkin reports.
When Joseph's 1-year-old daughter began to have rashes, he turned to what his family knows best, culantro. Some use these dry seeds as herbal medicine, supposedly to hasten recovery from measles. While others take it orally, Joseph boiled the seeds and used the juice to wipe his child's rashes.
Yun po yung turo ng mga matatanda po sa amin dati. Kasi po usually pag may tikdas, yun po yung kumbaga ginagawa nilang first aid para lumabas po yung mga measles sa katawan. Ginamit na po namin yun, nagsilabasan na lahat. Okay naman.
In Quiapo, herbal medicine vendors said culantro sales have skyrocketed.
Marami, araw-araw. Ubus kaagad ang culantro namin.
But doctors warn the public there's no study yet to prove its effectiveness to treat measles. It could even worsen the patient's condition.
Pero yung iba po, nagkakaroon pa ng komplikasyon. Kasi napupunta sa lungs, so nagiging severe tuloy ang pneumonia, yung balat nasusunog, na-irritate tuloy.
When it comes to protection, nothing beats vaccination. While health workers do supplemental immunization in barangays, more parents have become proactive and voluntarily take their children to health centers for measles shots. At the Lanuza Health Center in Manila, the number of children getting the vaccine triples in light of reports on the outbreak and deaths from the highly contagious disease.
Mga balitang sa tigdas. Para iwas na din po kasi hindi pa din siya naturukan sa 9 months niya.
To prove that the vaccine is safe, Health Secretary Francisco Duque personally gave some children in Baseco the needed measles shot and ice cream. Over at San Lazaro Hospital in Manila, 273 children and adults are still confined. By Thursday midnight, The hospital recorded 59 measles-related deaths. 3 children below 5 years old recently died of pneumonia, a severe measles complication. With low vaccination turnout in previous years, the health department will look at other countries' policy on mandatory immunization. Duque said policy intervention might be needed to make sure all Filipinos are protected from measles. Right now, the law only requires DOH to provide free vaccines, but getting it is not mandatory.
There is an EO in 2007 that, in fact, that mandates the DepEd as well as the DSWD. The preschoolers in those daycare centers must be given the full range of immunization.
Duque said he got frustrated last year when the Dengvaxia scare seemed to have overshadowed their warning against the rising number of measles cases. But he wants to move forward now. He refuses to comment on the remarks of Chief Public Attorney Persida Acosta. He hopes the court would expedite the resolution of Dengvaxia cases.